Okay, this is my very favorite snow burning video. And this lady here, she's a connoisseur of snow because she grew up in Chicago. Listen to what she says.
Look at that. It's not melting. It's turning black, but it's not melting. So, I did see for the last couple of days massive chemtrails.
You can't talk. They'll come after you.
I can't say chemtrails.
They'll come after you.
Whatever.
They'll come after you. That is too funny. Anyway, that must be her mom in the background. So I like this one a lot, and her snow, of course, you know, if you use a lighter or something like that, it's going to turn black, but it didn't drip. And you know, there are variables with snow, because if snow is in lower areas, then it will collect more toxins and pollution. So there are these variables about where the snow is taken. So that has to be taken into consideration. And I'm just wondering why people didn't do other types of, you know, experiments besides just with the Bic lighter or those kind of fireplace lighters. But then there's also this about chaff. Now, the funny thing about this very first video right here is that the reporter thinks that chaff is an airplane, and she calls them chaffs, so she doesn't understand. So it's being explained, but she doesn't understand it either, and it's just like nobody really knows what's going on anymore because it's all too complicated. We are lost in the world. No one knows how to interact with nature anymore and help it to live. It's just like where humans are death machines. They don't know what they're doing anymore. But in case you don't know what chaff is, here is a definition on Wikipedia. Chaff is the dry, scaly protective casings of the seeds of cereal grain or similar fine, dry, scaly plant material, such as scaly parts of flowers, etc., or finely chopped, whatever. So it can be like any finely ground thing that is like chaff, artificial chaff. So look at what these reporters say chaff is.
Sometimes, occasionally, the military will put some substances into the atmosphere that are detected by our radar, our weather surveillance radar. It's a substance that's called chaff.
The chaffs do look
See, she says the chaffs. He calls it chaff. It's a substance, and their they can pick it up on their radar, what the military is releasing into the sky for radar. So it's so funny that she calls them chaffs. Now listen to her continue.
similar to the oncoming storm system, but they're actually an indication of an aircraft. We replayed the radar images from 8:40 a.m. Turns out several of those chaffs or planes were near the San Diego and Baja areas.
Those chaffs or planes, they're not planes. So funny. Let's see what else this says.
Depending on how low and how fast, the planes could have created that sonic boom.
Let's talk about military chaff. You may or may not have heard of this. Now, chaff is something that the aircraft are equipped with. It's a spray that they put out in the atmosphere to confuse ground radars. It's a protection against, say, the radar-guided missiles, okay? So when
it's a spray that the military puts out there to confuse radar. It's a military thing. So that chaff is going to end up in the snow, especially when there's weather modification anyway. Who knows who made this snow? And then the chaff is, they're not going to stop putting chaff in the skies when it has a military purpose.
They're flying these patch patterns, they'll pass the sky, and it shows up on radars. Now, I was looking at my radar wondering, could it have been a flight pattern? Well, here's what happened. I called the National Weather Service, and something interesting here. They confirmed that this right here, this and this are not rain. That was not rain on our radar. So this is not rain. What is it? Could it have been chaff? Well, we may never know.
But we've been dealing a lot with some military activity in terms of chaff anyway, and that's something that I experienced for the first time yesterday. That was a whole lot of fun. And that's where the military just basically dumps some of the tiny particles of plastic or metal, mylar, into the atmosphere. And basically they do this when we do already have weather in the area, because it's been around since as long as radar has been around. Because
Okay, so mylar, plastic, and things like that could give the snow a plasticky smell.
That's the shot from yesterday's 6 o'clock show. What they do is try to confuse ground-based Doppler radar systems, and as Mark put it so kindly, ground-based meteorologists. And yes, ladies and gentlemen of the armed forces, it worked well. That's a shot of the mylar. That's a shot of the chaff, again, moving through the atmosphere yesterday. As you can see, a very distinctly different pattern from when a storm system would move through.
The chaff moving through the atmosphere. Well, it's TV, Gotta believe the TV.
Last weather segment. This is inevitably military or something going on. The government, the Air Force, they send out what's known as chaff, and it's a way to experiment with the radar systems. And when you see this kind of a pattern like this, you can rest assured there's something going on. They're actually little bitty magnetic and little bitty strips of, whether it's aluminum, they change it, but what happens is the radar deflects off of all these little pieces, and they use it actually as a jamming mechanism for radar in warfare, but it can also jam our radar and make rain appear that there really is no rain out there. Later on tomorrow, there could be a few showers.
Okay, so chaff.
Humidity levels and fog plume from the Big Island will move up the island chain, although it looks like, strangely, Kona's got some trade winds, and because of that, their air has been on the clearer side, so good for them. Everybody else, you can see those Kona winds coming in at a pretty good clip, so it's going to be a warm night tonight. You can see there's not much rain out there, and what looked like rain is not rain at all. That was military chaff earlier, but some of that
military chaff.
Northern California, we've got a bit of an unusual situation. Now, this first portion of the radar cycle, fairly bland and typical, but then you see these bands of very distinct cloud cover moving into the region. That is not rain, that is not snow, believe it or not. Military aircraft flying through the region is dropping chaff. Small bits of aluminum, sometimes it's made of plastic, or even metallicized paper products, but it's used as an anti-radar issue, and obviously they're up there practicing. Now, they won't confirm that, but I was in the Marine Corps for many years, and I'll tell you right now, that's what it is. 50 in Metro.
Okay, so metallicized paper, mylar, plastic. Don't eat the snow. Maybe you want to call it snow, but if all of these weather stations are talking about chaff and you can see it up in the sky with your own eyes, even though there are delusional people who can't see it, the snow could be acting really weird in different areas. That's my opinion on the snow. Don't eat the snow and become a snow connoisseur. Do you have aluminum in your snow? Do you have mylar in your snow? Do you have plastic in your snow? Do you have metallicized paper in your snow? I guess you have to take it to a lab for $50 and check it out. Get people in your neighborhood to chip in $5. Find a lab. Contact Kirsten Megan. Look her name up, Kirsten Megan, Kirsten Megan, and find a lab who will do it, or get a digital microscope and take pictures of your snow. But anyway, I want to hear these ladies again. They're so funny.
It's turning black, but it's not melting. So, I did see for the last couple of days massive chemtrails.
You can't talk. They'll come after you.
I can't say chemtrails.
They'll come after you.
Whatever.
Thanks for watching. Bye for now.